Hey, I'm Morgan Gales. We are out here on the 2018 Harley-Davidson Heritage Softail 114. Of all the Softail bikes, this is the one that stood out to me as a great all-rounder. That 114 power plant puts out incredible power. It's got leather saddlebags and the detachable windscreen here. It's a great, more lightweight tourer. So we're out here to test the thing and tell you guys all about it. For 2017, Harley-Davidson only offered the Milwaukee 8 in the touring platform, and then it was only offered in 107 with 114 in the CVOs. So seeing this huge engine, the 114, offered in such a lighter weight package, it really changes the character of it. You have so much torque. It's 119 foot-pound torque, which you feel all of. It feels incredible. And then the sound, the vibe of the engine, it just revs up higher. It puts out power more consistently through those revs than the twin cam. So it's really awesome character all around, and just the engine's a huge improvement over the twin cam. With the big displacement of this engine, there's really not a lot of downsides that I've noticed. It doesn't get crazy hot really quickly like some of the other larger engines. It doesn't suck gas like a maniac. It's 47 miles per gallon, which really isn't that bad. Especially considering the power and the output that you get out of this thing. You've got long legs between gears and you can really rev up. It puts out really good power in those revs. The only engine on the market that I would really compare the Milwaukee 8 to would be Indian's Thunderstroke 111. And the Milwaukee 8 just feels more snappy to me. It feels more peppy and more responsive. I think they both have a good feel when you hit them, even with stock exhaust. But the clutch drop and that response off the throttle with the Milwaukee 8 is more exciting to me. Obviously, the suspension was a big thing to talk about with the new Softails. You're going from a double pull shock to a single push shock, which dynamically should work much better, and big surprise, it totally does. You have this single shock that's hidden underneath the seat, and it's adjustable down here as well, but it's not springy. It provides good damping. It's firm and stable in the turns. You have the dual bending valve suspension in the front that works really well. It's a comfortable bike that you can cruise on and go and just hit the highways, but you can also send it and really hit the twisties on if you want to. It's dynamic. It carries itself well pretty much wherever you put it. Not all of the Softail bikes have the on-the-fly adjustable rear suspension. I wish this one did. You can still adjust it if you take off the cover and get in there, but having that little knob is nice for, when you're doing different types of riding in one day. The Heritage Softail has a seat height of 26.8 inches, which is actually 0.2 inches lower than the 27 inches of the old Softail Classic. I think most people assumed that with the lower lean angles and the higher clearance that you have of this bike, that you'd end up with a higher seat height as well, which isn't the case. So the rider triangle on this is really comfortable. The floorboards are somewhere between forward and mid controls, really nice ergonomically, and the handlebars sit, well below the shoulders, but in a comfortable, able for good range from comfortable touring to getting down and trying to ride a little bit more aggressively. The bike provides a good range there to where you can stay comfortable if you're in the saddle all day, but if you want to really get into it, you also sort of have the options there too. I think choosing the ape hangers for this bike was mainly a stylistic move, but most riders will change their bars regardless. I'd honestly probably go a little bit taller apes just to fit me. I know a lot of riders would prefer lower bars. That's just a preference thing. But with the simple riser here, changing your bars is easy. So when you're changing from a weekend ride to a daily commute, whatever you want to do, this windscreen pops off with two quick little hinges. And the passenger seat pops off with one screw and a quick slide. So it's really easy to change this thing from sort of a highway cruiser to more of a stripped down, old school looking bike. But honestly, it's good looking either way. So I have never been a fan of Heritage Softails. And there's a few reasons why, but the styling was really a main part of that. I just never feel like their old school was my old school. And now they've really changed that. You end up with these new looking headlights and their mount there, but then the almost reminiscent of 50s era, the two-tone windshield here, the blacked out nickel hardware on the seat and the saddlebags. it's really a nice balance of this heritage, classic, old school, and, you know, blacked out new Harley styling. It's still got some attitude, but it's still got that, you know, heritage versatility. I love the look of this bike, which for a heritage was a totally new thing for me. When I try to think of the ideal customer for this bike, with how much I really love it, it's guys like me. It's guys that are, you know, mid-late 20s into their mid-late 30s that are looking for something that's a little bit more comfortable, has a little bit longer range, but also has that power and has the ability to go out and really send it on the weekends and hitting those canyons if you want to. You know, this bike is sporty and it is no slump, but at the same time, I could do 6 hours in the saddle in a day. When I think about what Harley set out to achieve with this model, I imagine that it was a faster, lighter weight, better handling softail that still maintained the heritage of the company and the look and style that everyone loved about previous softails. And I think stylistically you end up with a really good package. So I love it. In my opinion, it's Harley's perfect new all-rounder.